Hello, welcome back. I am Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? It's been one of those days. You wanna know what really drives me nuts? And I think it's really rude too. For example, the men in my house think they have to be on their phone, and it has to be loud, no matter what anybody else is doing. The worst, though, you know what I mean? Like, I could be listening to the radio and working, and then they walk in from wherever they weren't home, and they have their phone blaring, Seinfeld, or reels off of Facebook or YouTube or whatever, right? And it's loud, and it's like, I was here first. Can you at least have a little respect or decency? And the worst part is they don't even shut the radio off. So you have this radio on and this phone blaring, and it's just like, to me, it's just, ugh. Ask and say, hey, can I shut the radio off? Or go in your room and listen to your stuff. But worse than that is when my husband is talking on the phone, and he's always on speakerphone. 95% of the time he's on speakerphone. Every once in a while he won't be, and it's usually because he's up to some shenanigans that I don't even want to know about. But seriously, he's on his cell phone, yapping into the phone. It could be somebody, and they're like, well, what's Tonya doing? No, I'm busy. If I want to be on the phone talking to you, I'd be talking to you, right? I don't want a three-way phone conversation when I'm busy, right? But he never says, I'm busy. It's they'll hear me, and they'll be like, oh, hey, how you doing? And I'm just like, I'm busy. I don't want to talk on the phone right now, And then he gets mad because I make comments about his conversation. Well, I'm sorry. If you're going to be on speakerphone and the whole world gets to hear and be part of this conversation, I should get to put my 2 cents in when you're being stupid. Or just put my 2 cents in. Right? But I just find it so rude. He'll just walk in, he's on the phone, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, and it's blah, blah, blah. And then it's, oh, well, Tonya's doing this. Why bring me up? Why bring me into this conversation? Phones are not meant to be that way. Otherwise, you can do a 3-way call. Or whatever he does with his friends, an 8-way call, or whatever the heck it is. Actually, I don't think they do that. They do it, they kind of bring each other in, and I just, it's too much chaos for me. Too much chaos. But I really think it's rude. I totally think it's rude for you to have your phone blaring and not care about anybody else. It's not how this works. I mean, what do you think? Is it okay for somebody to just walk in the house and have their phone blaring? I mean, and then the worst part is when the boys aren't always home, or we're eating at different times. He's on his phone at the table. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. I'm not making this up. He's on his phone scrolling through Telegram to see what news he missed throughout the day. And I'm just like, you can do this later. Like, you can seriously do this later. That is so rude. Now, like, when me and my son go out to eat, because we have to, because we're stuck in town, so every once in a while we have to, eat in town. And, like, he might look at his phone if somebody, something pops up, which is fine, but then he puts it away. And I might look at my phone to see who's texting, if it's, important, or it can be dealt with later, just to see who it is, But when we eat, we don't do that. We don't, and at home, I've tried to implement this, like, no phones at the table, right? Well, it's really hard to do when the other parent is doing the thing you're trying to get them not to do. It's so dumb. Absolutely dumb. Yeah, but anyway, today we are doing Angel's Orchard again. Just because I wanted to see if the type of pour, I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out how to make more of a wing. I know that's dumb, but more of a wing. So I'm going to pour it from a different angle and pour it into the mold and see what we get. So 3 things: dream big, be true to you, you are worth it. And let's go check out this new Angel Orchards pour. Okay, to the Angel's Orchard, which we're doing an opposite swirl for this. Now, I'm doing pretty close to the same recipe as before. Canola, castor, coconut, olive, rice bran is the difference, shea, and tallow. I find shea fascinating, and maybe it has to do with the unsaponifiables in it, but it doesn't seem to matter how much I add to a recipe, it stays fluid. You know, this has a lot of hard oils, you know, like 60-65%, and the rest are the soft oils. And even when I add the shea at the end of my hot process soap for my shave bars, it makes it fluid. It's the craziest thing. It just, you can feel it loosen up. So I don't know if that's a thing with shea, but there's 10% in this recipe. Now, we are using, oh, I forgot my colors. Oh, pink vibrance, purple vibrance, blue tide, and titanium dioxide. Yep, that's the pink vibrance. I had a lady at a vendor show just recently complain about titanium dioxide in soaps. And I told her, I said, it's a colorant that we use. I said, but my titanium dioxide is food grade. And she's like, yeah, I know it's in food. We eat it. And she just walked off. And I was like, there's so much more to it. There's particle size. So if the particle size is, they call it nano, is it non-nano? I'm going to get this backwards. But if the particle size is too big to soak into your skin, it won't. And we're not leaving this on our skin like sunscreen. So therefore, we're good. So here's the pour. We're pouring down the spout of my big container, okay? I'm not pouring on the side. I am pouring directly down the spout. So this is where the difference in the pour is going to be. Yeah, slow down, girl. Count. I'm going to mess it up. So while you watch me make these really cool layers in the bowl, titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. If you have particles that are going to soak into the skin, that is where it becomes bad. That is where it becomes a bad thing. So if you're making sunscreen, which they advise you not to, but people do, you need to make sure the particle size is too big to soak into the skin. Yeah, it is non-nano, meaning it's too large to penetrate your skin. That's where it comes from. Oh, I don't know why I got off on that tangent. That was not planned at all. Yeah, so seriously, this is kind of boring, but it's really so cool to see all those layers that get formed in the bowl before we actually pour it into the mold. And I always reserve a little bit for the top because I have more, I think I actually cut it out of here because I'm like, you guys see it, you've seen it. I just pour the soap down, you'll see it, So I do reserve a little bit for the top, but I always seem to run out of just a little bit of weight, which doesn't matter. So then I just, layer my colors over the top until I have about what I think I need. Yeah, see what I need for my top. Now, I really wish, and I'm sorry because I got my head in here a little bit. I really wish that I could, I think I need to slow down a little bit. I'm not sure, but I don't know why some of it gets so muddy when you see the layers in there. Oh, yeah, we can't forget the heart. We have a cold process blue heart that goes into every one of them. And, it's like, I'm not sure. Maybe I have to have my layers farther apart. Maybe I have to pour slower so I get a better, pour, better lines. I'm not quite sure, but every time I do it, I change something up a little bit just so eventually will will get it to look like I want it to look like. So this pour, obviously, when I poured from the side, it spread out towards the other side of the bowl. This way, I poured down the front, and it went spread out to the back. So kind of a reverse pour. So see, those are my lines. I just made lines with my extra soap, just enough, and then I'm sprinkling eco glitter on top just for some bling. That's how I did it. That's how I do it. Don't know why I showed you so much of the bling, and then streak the soap onto itself, purposely dragging that white back up top to make it look like, like wings or another layer that you're not seeing, or just wings. I don't know why that looks like feathers to me from, just maybe like, it just says, I like it. I think it's cool. This did get popped and gelled, and I don't know. We didn't have sunlight for a while, and it was hellacious sunlight. See, that's a beautiful, solid bar. Very beautiful, shiny, solid bar. I love that side. Now, technically, this is like a wood grain pour, and you could cut it. Well, we can't because we have a heart in there. But in reality, if you didn't have the heart in there, you could cut it like wood grain, Yeah, that one's cool. I noticed it right away. I noticed the difference right away. I was really stoked. See? And I will put another picture up so you can see the two together. So the one that I did before, where the pour is on the side, the lines are smooth and flowing through the bar. That's what you see, a smooth flowing line. This way, it is almost like the feathers on top. If you want to pretend they're feathers on top, the white, the teal, the pink, the blue, it staggers the lines inside, and that's almost what it looks like. So to me, this was a total success, and I'm totally going to change the way I pour this bar, because I like the new way better than the old, because it gave me the definition I wanted. So this is the bar shortly after it is poured, and here are the two bars together. Okay, do you see the difference in variation? It's super crazy, the difference. And here are the fragrance notes to this bar. It is basically a beautiful dupe of Love Spell by Victoria's Secret. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.